Hello and welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining our webinar today. Today's topic is demystifying evidence-based coaching support. So we're all very excited to have you here. And I am joined with today's presenters, Gina Gates and Emmy Schwab. Welcome. And for folks who are joining the call, let us know where you're joining from. You can chat. There's a little functionality in the chat box. Yes. Hello, Elizabeth. You're first to the chat. Thank you. At Teachstone, we're all about interaction. So please feel free to interact with each other and with us in the chat box. And if you have any questions for today's presenters or just private questions that you want to ask the Teachstone staff, we have a Q&A functionality also there at the bottom of your screen. So let me go ahead and do a few more housekeeping tips here. Today's presentation is being recorded. So if you missed the beginning or if you have to duck out a little bit early, that's okay. We will email you a link to the recording tomorrow. We'll also share that certificate of attendance that many of you might need. And we'll be sure to include any of the links from today's presentation. And let me introduce today's presenters, Gina and Emmy. I mentioned already, Gina is joining us from Florida. Gina has been at Teachstone for 7 years and she's worn many hats here. Some of you might have had her as a class trainer or know her from her work as an account manager and now regional director here at Teachstone. And Emmy, you've been at Teachstone for 7 or 8 years now.
Going on my 8th. So yeah.
Year. Congrats.
Yeah.
And Emmy is joining us from Texas. So welcome, Emmy and Gina. And I think that's it for me kicking it off, but I will pass it over to Gina.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining the webinar this afternoon. I'm super excited to be here. As Megan shared, I have been with Teachstone for 6 years and almost 7 years, and I have worn many hats even before coming to Teachstone. I was a classroom teacher for 12 years. I was also a preschool director, and I was an instructional coach. So this is a topic that is really, really passionate to my heart, and I'm really excited to share this information with you today. I'll turn it over to Emmy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Emmy Schwab. I have been with Teachstone, as I said, going into my 8th year. I did not start in early childhood education. I actually was on higher ed, so the complete opposite spectrum. But I've been with Teachstone and I've loved it ever since. I lived on the East Coast and got started with the company, and now living in Texas. But I support our partners out in the West in California, Alaska, and Hawaii. So I'm really, really excited to be here today and share my knowledge with you guys.
Awesome. Well, we're going to start off. We're all about interactions, and we want to get to know you guys a little bit better. So we have a poll that is coming up on the screen now, and we want to find out who is joining and what your role is. If you don't see your role, feel free to use the chat box and type in your current position, but go ahead and add to the poll now. I see we have quite a few instructional leaders and coaches, which is great. We have some data collectors, some implementation leaders, but it looks like the majority is instructional leader and coach.
Wow.
Awesome. So we have 70% of the group today is instructional leaders and coaches. So we're really excited that you're here. Also for educators, caregivers, site leaders, and everybody else that's on the call today. I think the information you're going to be hearing today is going to be really important and valuable to the work that you do each and every day. All right, so today's objectives and what we're going to cover, we're going to talk a little bit about the class journey and how it might look different for different organizations. And depending on the goals that you have within your organization, your journey might look different than somebody else's. Today, we're also going to highlight our 3 coaching certification programs: Class Master Coaching, Class Group Coaching, and also the one-on-one video coaching. So that's where we're going to spend the bulk of our time today. And at the end, we're going to wrap up and have another poll and find out which of these certifications might be the right fit for you. All right, so many of you have probably seen this image. This is an image that we use here at Teachstone when we talk about class as being a cycle of continuous quality improvement. We know that class is a journey. I often say it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a one and done type of professional development or implementation, but it does take time and it does take intentional focus and dedication to really have the most impact. When we talk about the focus, we're really looking at what those high quality interactions look like and making sure that everybody has a baseline and a foundational understanding for why interactions are so important. Talking about measure is really in collecting the data that we need that's really going to drive that quality improvement that we're looking to achieve. We don't know where to focus if we do not have the data to collect. So we need to ensure that we have that measure so that we can measure the quality of the interactions that are taking place within your program. And finally, that last, not the last, but the third part of that cycle is really in that improvement phase. And that's really in providing quality PD opportunities for teachers and educators that's really driven by the data that you've collected. So we know that professional development is more impactful when it relates to the teacher's practice. So understanding where the teacher's strengths are and understanding opportunities for growth is really where we're going to have the most impact in providing professional development and quality coaching. So we know that in these three stages, we have many different solutions that we can offer for each of these focus areas. So when we think about focus, what we're really thinking about is how we're going to build readiness and excitement. We also want to make sure that we have buy-in and that we support organizations when they start off in this improvement journey. Measurement solutions is all about the data. How do we collect the data? How do we monitor program quality? And how do we report on the quality of the program? We also want to make sure that we maintain data confidence and data reliability. But for today's purpose, we're going to live today in the improvement phase or the improvement stage of this journey. We're going to focus on how to strengthen overall program quality with those professional development opportunities. We're also going to look at how to increase coaching capacity and also how do we support individual teacher development and growth. I want to share a little story with you. It's a personal story of mine, but it really does tie in and relate to the topic that we're covering today. So as I shared earlier, I was a classroom teacher for 12 years. And when I came out of the classroom, I was hired as an instructional coach. And I had very little training. I had very little understanding of what a coach does or how I should be coaching teachers. And so I remember walking in for the very first time on this new job that I had as an instructional coach. And I walked into the classroom and I thought, what on earth do I do now? I didn't know if I was supposed to watch and take notes and provide feedback. I didn't know if I was supposed to be modeling for the teacher. I really had very little training and very little support in the area of coaching and what an effective coach looks like, or what are the best practices that a coach should be using in order to drive teacher growth. And it wasn't until several months into this position that I started to really better understand what the role was all about. I was not there to tell a teacher what to do, but I was there to be a cheerleader and provide the feedback and the supports in order to help a teacher understand their goals and to grow in their practice. And so I think it's really important that as coaches, we understand that just because you're an effective teacher in a classroom doesn't necessarily mean you're going to know exactly what to do when you walk in for a coaching experience or a coaching conversation. So today's focus is really going to be on building effective coaches and building effective coaching strategies.
All right, so I am going to talk y'all through one of our resources called Class Master Coaching. This is a wonderful program in helping you with building coaching competencies. So we use the class language to talk through these services, but what I love about this service is that it's really about building that coach skill set, and these resources can be applied to other PD initiatives that you have going on. And we're fully aware that class is just one piece of your chest full of PD that you guys have and that you offer for your educators. So I love this resource because this is a 1-year program with an option for 2 years if you'd like. It's then 1 year is probably around 9 months. And the goal here is to help deepen your understanding of what is effective coaching, reflect on that quality of your own coaching, develop essential coaching competencies, which is really the meat of this service, and then build effective adult interactions, collaborate with your peers, and improve the support to your educators as they work to improve their adult-child interactions. So who should participate in what we call CMC, or Class Master Coaching? This program benefits folks that are new to the coaching role, as well as those who are already proficient in the tool, who want to either finesse, polish, or expand and grow their coaching skills. And then also the ones that participants that want to continue into that second year of this service. All participants who attend must be observer reliable in the age level that they're coaching to attend and to be a part of this program, which is similar to our other coaching resources. And then also our participants are required to coach at least 2 educators as they are going through this service. So let's say you're a coach or an administrator who is coaching coaches or coaching other leadership. During this service, if you decide to register or attend to be a part of this resource, you would want to find 2 educators to support your work. And that is really from the findings that we did in California at the state level when we did the first year we coached with coaches with leaders, and found that it is much more helpful and beneficial if you have educators that you're supporting as you're moving through this service. And then the program is currently offered in English. So all of the coaching resources will be in English. There are some learning resources in Spanish, but the materials for the teachers will also be in English as well. So what's included in this program? So we have quite a bit of stuff in this 9 months of services that you have here with Teachstone Specialist. The first is you're going to have a 2-day workshop, and that's really going to help you understand what are the coaching schedules that are going to be taking place over this 9 months, meeting your cohort of coaches that you're going to be a part of, meeting your Teachstone Specialist, and kind of what are the logistics moving forward with this service. Then you would go to a what I call the group coach calls. You'd have a 1 group coach call per month or per cycle, and you'd also have an individual call with your Teachstone Specialist. You would also receive coaching resources per cycle. I would say each cycle is about 30 days, so it's easy to say a month, but that could be from like September 15th to October 15th. So I like to say the 30-day or 1 cycle. And then there's also some coaching exercises where you will be providing or sharing 7 videos of yourself coaching one of those educators, getting feedback from that Teachstone Specialist, and then working with your cohort of coaches to better understand and have some more peer-to-peer learning with them. Time commitment. So for Class Master Coaching, you have that 2-day training that you would be in attendance for. And then it's about 4 to 6 hours per coaching cycle for you, the coach, with that one group call, that one one-on-one call, and then 2 to 3 hours of that exercise work that you would be doing, your homework. And then you also have 2 to 3 My Teachstone learning resources, videos, courses, PDFs, and links that you would be reviewing. In addition to that, I just want to make sure it's clear and fully transparent that you can expect to have 80 to 90 minutes worth of work for every teacher that you're supporting in this resource. So in the past, I've recommended no more than 10 teachers at a time, and that's still a pretty heavy load. 2 to 3 is a really good number to have as you're moving through this month-to-month work and developing your coaching skills. Here's an example. I wanted to put this on this slide deck so that you could see what are some of the styles here. For year 1, you would have that orientation of moving through these different cycles. What unit 1 looks like, that's positive climate, coaching competency. Then you have unit 2, 3, and 4 for that year 1. And then if you decide to move forward with year 2, which most do after they've gone through about halfway through the year 1, year 2 is going to really focus on more of that instructional side of the class master coaching, which is the regard for student perspective, productivity, analysis and inquiry, and then you selecting areas that you want to maybe even quote unquote like master or feel that you're not as proficient on. So it's a really great way of doing this tool. And I recommend, if you are going to start one of these, looking at your school system and when they start with that teacher work. So that way, if you're a year-round program, maybe you don't need to start in August or September, as most of the school systems do start with that August to June, maybe even late May, because you're going to want to have that teacher interaction as you're moving through these exercises. Year 2, so just a little bit more on this year 2. Coaches who have participated and completed the requirements are eligible to move into a year 2 cohort. Returning coaches would be grouped with other returning coaches so that your level of that level of experience is getting matched. And then continuing to deepen that understanding of effective coaching, and then building on with their more effective interactions through that practice-based and competency-based learning. Yes. And then here is a testimonial that I wanted to share with you from one of the participants that I had worked with a couple of years ago. I thought it was a really wonderful quote. So, class master coaching has provided me with lots of tools and resources to become more intentional about my coaching practice or approach. It has guided me in planning for my conferences and discussions with my teachers, and has given me strategies to address various coaching challenges. I'm so thankful to have participated in the program and expand my competencies related to strength-based coaching. So again, I just love the fact that this isn't specific to class, but just coaching in general, and making sure that you are more proficient in that coaching role and what that looks like. And then I wanted to include the pricing here. I'm not going to go over it, but this is here for you guys to review or to reference it once you get the slide deck, if this is of interest to you. And I'm happy to, you're more than welcome to reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever.
Thank you so much, Emmy. It sounds like class master coaching would have been a great program for me as I started off in my coaching journey. One of the things I love about it is the fact that you don't necessarily have to coach on class. Like Emmy shared, we have lots of different initiatives going on. So just building up the skill set and the competencies for coaching in general is really a wonderful tool to have. We're going to move into class group coaching next. Class group coaching, aka MMCI, as some of you may have heard it called before. I'm old school, so when I came on board at Teachstone, we called this program MMCI, or Making the Most of Classroom Interactions, and we later renamed it to call it class group coaching. And there's a reason behind that renaming of the service. As I talk about MMCI, I want you to have two kind of images in your mind. I'm going to use the terms deep and wide. So with class group coaching, we're going to focus on wide. We're going to focus on covering a broad area. Class group coaching is a program that trains coaches on the class group coaching model, and it prepares you to deliver trainings to teachers. So I like to refer to it as similar to an affiliate training almost like a train the trainer, where you're going to come in as a coach, you're going to attend that initial 3-day training, and then you're going to turn around and go back to your organization, and you're going to be delivering the class group coaching sessions to your teachers. Class group coaching is proven to positively impact teacher-child interactions. Like I said, I've been around for some number of years now, and so has MMCI, or class group coaching. Lots of studies have been done on class group coaching, and we know that, oh, I see a comment, somebody else loves MMCI as much as I do. It's one of my favorite programs. I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but I do. It is a wonderful solution for organizations that are looking to scale class knowledge through professional learning communities. Remember, I talked about wide. We're going to go wide with class group coaching. And again, like I shared, MMCI, or making the most of classroom interactions. If you hear somebody say MMCI, they are talking about the same program, class group coaching. So, who should participate in class group coaching? So for this program, the ideal class group coach is somebody who's at an organization that already has certified observers. The prerequisite to be a class group coach is that you do have an active observer certification in the age level in which you want to deliver class group coaching. It's also ideal for organizations that are looking to enhance coaching strategies of their coaches and their observers. I have heard from many MMCI or class group coaching coaches who have said to me, you know, I understood the tool prior to class group coaching, but I really understand it now. And it's really a lot of professional development, not only for the teachers, but also for coaches. And the other ideal fit is for organizations that want to provide more in-depth PD to teachers around class, and also in providing large scale or a large audience of coaching. It really is going to go wide in this program. So we have a little bit of a 4-step process, a little different from class master coaching, where that was a 9-month sort of cycle, or nine-month sort of program. This is a little bit different. You are going to start off by first attending a 3-day class group coaching training in the age level on which you choose. So if you decide you want to go through a 3-day pre-K class group coaching training, you are then going to become a provisional class group coaching trainer in the area of pre-K. We also offer it for infant and toddler, and you can actually do that in a shortened fashion, and I'll share more how you can add additional age levels. After you complete the 3-day training, you are then considered a provisional class group coaching trainer. And what that means is that you have a provisional certification, which is going to allow you to go out and start to deliver the program to your teachers. But you are also during this time in the process of becoming certified. And what that looks like is during this 12 sessions that you're going to deliver to the teachers, you are going to be recording yourself delivering 20-minute segments of the sessions, and you will be uploading those videos to a class specialist who will then be viewing your videos and providing feedback to you. There are coaching competencies, group coaching competencies that are similar to class master coaching, but these are focused on group dynamics, because in this program, we are focusing on coaching a group of teachers. These 3 20-minute videos will be reviewed, feedback will be provided, written feedback, as well as a follow-up conference between the coach and the Teachstone specialist. And then upon completion of those 3 certification videos, you will then receive a class group coaching certified or certification in the age level for which you completed it. Now, you do have an entire year to complete the certification process, but it might not take you a year. You might complete the certification process within 3 or 4 months following your training. You have the full year in which to submit those 3 videos. The ideal class group coach is going to go out and to start to deliver the 12 sessions to teachers pretty soon thereafter the training. We all know what happens if you go to a training and you set something aside and you don't go back to it for months and months. you kind of start to forget some of the things. So it is important that when you do attend the training, you begin to think about how soon or how quickly you can begin to deliver the 12 sessions for your cohort of teachers. A little bit about what the teacher sessions are like. So those 12 sessions that your teachers are going to attend are going to follow a no, see, do format. You want to let them know or teach them about the dimension of focus. They're going to see that dimension in action with video clips. And then the do portion of the session is really going to be on forming action plans and strategies that teachers are going to take back to their classroom and begin to implement immediately. I love class group coaching, or MMCI, as I cannot get out of the habit of calling it MMCI, because this is the only professional development offering that we have that you're actually going to see not only the really effective interactions in those videos, but you're going to see the interactions that are less effective. I've often heard people say, well, show me what it looks like when it's not a 6 or a 7, for example, if they're scoring. Show me what it looks like if it's less effective. MMCI does give that opportunity for teachers to really see the really highly effective interactions and the interactions that are less effective. The other thing that I love about MMCI, or class group coaching, is that it's really flexible for an organization on how you decide to schedule and deliver those 12 sessions for teachers. You get to choose the schedule, you get to choose the day and the time, you get to choose how often the teachers will meet, weekly or monthly. But that's really up to you as a coach and as an organization to really design the schedule to best fit your needs. We work with organizations who do their 12 teacher sessions in the evenings. We work with organizations who do their teacher sessions on Saturday mornings. We work with organizations that deliver those 12 teacher sessions throughout the week and during the day. So it really is flexible and completely up to you how you schedule that. The other great thing is that teachers will receive 2.4 CEUs upon completion of all 12 sessions. And even if they don't attend all 12 sessions, they still will receive partial credit for attending even 3 or 4 or 5, or hopefully we get them to finish all 12, but they still will receive CEUs based on partial credit. The other thing I really want to highlight about MMCI is that we offer the 12 teacher sessions both in English and in Spanish. So we have materials for those teacher sessions that are Spanish materials with the Spanish PowerPoint and slides. So as long as a coach is bilingual and has the ability to deliver in both English and Spanish, the coach can also deliver class group coaching sessions in the language that they choose.
Real fast, the 12 sessions are 2 hours each. So just a heads up, I don't know if Gina said that, but I feel like that you guys would want to know it's not a half day or a full day session, but it's a 2-hour session. And then what's nice about the teachers that receive the CEUs, they do get a certificate of completion that then could be downloaded and uploaded into the workforce registry if you have a registry, a state registry that you guys are working with.
Thank you, Emmy. I forgot to mention it was 2 hours. That's super important. All right. And we do have, like I said, class group coaching has been around for a number of years. We have a testimonial that came in from one of the administrators. It says our class scores are dramatically huge. That was the year we had the largest growth in the state. And we completely believe it was because we had so many folks in this intensive kind of experience along the way on MMCI. And I know I did see a few comments in the chat from others in the group that are echoing the sentiments about MMCI being a wonderful program.
Gina, could leadership or other coaches attend a cohort, or is it only teachers that can attend a cohort?
Oh, absolutely. It is open to anybody. And in fact, we get the best, we see the best results and have the most impact when we have leaders and directors who are there alongside of their teachers. We have many programs that include directors or leaders into those 12 sessions, and it's really the best in being able to support teachers if directors and leaders are in the room and hearing the same information that teachers are hearing. Okay, now I don't want this slide to scare you because there's a whole lot of numbers on this slide, so don't panic. We put the pricing in, like Emmy shared, so that when you get the recording later, you have this to reference. The reason why there are so many different prices listed here is that we offer a lot of different options and how you can become a certified class group coach. You can attend a Teachstone hosted training, virtual, in person. You can do your own hosted training for your organization, also virtual or in person. The one thing that I do want to highlight on this one is that if you want to add additional age levels, so let's say the very first time you become a class group coach, certified coach, you do it for the age level of pre-K and you attend a 3-day pre-K class group coach training. If you want to add infant and toddler, the other great thing is that you don't have to attend another full 3-day training. You would attend a 1-day add-on training to add on those additional age levels so that you would then become certified to deliver the class group coach training or sessions to teachers in that additional age level. So the nice thing is the 3-day training only happens one time. The additional age levels can be done by taking a 1-day add-on training. And there are relicensing fees that happen each year, similar to how you recertify each year your observer certification. You would renew your certification for MMCI yearly as well.
We had a great question. Will they have to do the 3 videos in the add-on, in the 1-day add-on?
Yes, that's a great question. So although the training is condensed down to 1 day, if you're adding an additional age level, you still will have to go through the full certification process, which is the 3 videos, even though you had a 1-day add-on training, because you are becoming certified in additional age level. The certification process doesn't change, only the training changes if you're adding the age level.
And I wanted to jump in right before I think this is a nice segue question. So just a point of clarification on the previous 2 programs, class master coaching and class group coaching. Can you just clarify, the trainings are for a coach or a person to train a group of teachers to coach, or is it more for a coach to improve coaching with the intensive coaching? So does that make sense?
So yeah, I think so. Class master coaching is for improving the coach competencies, so your own coaching skill set. And then you have class group coaching, which is more about you learning to coach on the class tool with your teachers.
And more for the purpose of teacher professional development or teacher growth, as opposed to class master coaching, which is focused on coach growth.
Yep.
Thank you. And if others have questions, don't forget, you can submit that in the Q&A, and there's more time for Q&A at the end too, so I can hold all the other questions. But thank you. I wanted to sneak that one in right now.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our 3rd program today. Again, I'm old school, so class or one-on-one class video coaching. Back in the day, we used to call it MTP, or my teaching partner. So you might hear others refer to MTP. It is also the same one-on-one class video coaching. Remember those 2 words I gave you earlier, the deep and the wide? Okay, so we went wide with class group coaching, MMCI, we went wide. With one-on-one class video coaching, we're going to go deep with this one. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what I mean by that, but I want you to keep that word in your mind. This one is also a research-based intensive coaching program. It is focused on improving teacher-child interactions. So with this program, we're also focused on teacher growth. The program does support instructional leaders as they partner being that key word here, because it is going to be one-on-one. It is going to be coach with teacher, not a group environment, but a one-on-one partner environment where those collaborative relationships are going to be examined, and teachers are going to have the opportunity to upload their own video footage of their own practice of day-to-day interactions. And what the coach will be doing is once teachers upload that video footage, coaches will be viewing that video footage, clipping and highlighting segments of the videos, and providing prompts for teachers to really drive that teacher growth and that teacher, improving those teacher-child interactions. So again, we want to talk a little bit about what this program is, but also who it's best for. So this program is for coaches that are interested in developing proficiency around the class tool. So with this program, coaches are going to coach directly to the tool. Coaches who are supporting the professional development of teachers, specifically on class performance. It's also ideal for organizations that already have existing coaching structure in place. And also for organizations that want to provide a face-to-face or individual coaching experience for teachers. We're going to be going deep with this one, meaning that a coach and a teacher will have that one-on-one relationship, and they really will be able to drive deeply into that practice because they're going to be seeing teacher practice through the video footage and really engaging in those coaching conversations and highlighting the teacher's growth and also the teacher's strengths. Here's an image, a little bit about how this works. The typical My Teaching Partner, you'll see it right there in the middle, or MTP, or one-on-one video coaching. The typical cycle is a 2-week cycle. What happens during this 2-week cycle? We start off, the first step is the teacher's going to record their footage with a camera or iPod. This next step is once that teacher records and uploads that video, the coach is going to review that video and will select the clip or highlights the segment of the video that they want to talk about. The coach will then write prompts that the teacher is going to be able to respond to. Once those prompts are provided, the teacher is going to review the prompts and respond. Then the teacher and the coach will engage in that coaching conference. So all of that, the coach will have already seen the video, the prompts will have already been provided, and the teacher will have already responded to those prompts by the time the conference happens. The conference happens, and then the final step in the cycle is the coach will send a summary and an action plan. And then this cycle will continue over the course of the year, but each cycle will be approximately 2 weeks in length. So again, we said that this one was also research-based. What we have seen based on the research is that it is proven and effective that teachers do increase the effectiveness of their instructional interactions by having participated and engaged in the My Teaching Partner or one-on-one video coaching program. We also have seen the reports have shown us that there's high levels of satisfaction and motivation and a lower sense of isolation from the teacher. What we see in the area of children's growth and effectiveness is that we see greater gains on tests of early literacy, and we also see that children experience lower levels of challenging behavior. So again, the research has been done. The program has been around for quite a number of years, lots of different studies around MTP. And what we have seen is that it is a really valuable program for really going deep with coach and teacher on improving teacher-child interactions. Here's a testimonial. So it said, instead of just listing comparisons, we brainstorm and have back and forth exchanges about their ideas. I ask them follow-up questions and summarize their ideas and learning. I'm able to scaffold their learning by giving them hints and clues so that they can come up with their own understanding of a concept. I ask them questions that will allow them to elaborate on their ideas, such as how and why questions. So I don't know about you, but I hear that quote and I think about, class is embodied so much in that quote. The how and why questions, the coach is really giving the teacher that autonomy and that leadership to really be the true owner of their growth and their teacher practice. Again, don't let the pricing slide scare you. There's a lot of numbers on here. It's here for your reference so that when you have the recording later, you can go back to it. There's several different ways you can become an MTP or one-on-one certified video coach. We have virtual options for the training, in-person options. You can host your own training at your organization. The initial training is 3 days, similar to MMCI, and then you will then move on to the coaching cycles. Similar to MMCI or class group coaching, there is a credentialing process that will take place. During this credentialing process, a Teachstone specialist will be meeting with the coach in order to provide the support and the guidance to complete that credentialing process. And lastly, there is that recertification each year that takes place similar to the other programs we've talked about.
So Gina, just real fast, when you were going through that cycle for what the teachers go through, when does the coach meet with the Teachstone specialist?
Upon completion of that full cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, just making sure.
Yeah. All right, Emmy, I'm turning it over to you.
Great. So after hearing all of these, Gina and I both love analogies. And this one really stuck with us. So we wanted to share with you kind of the way we think about these resources and services as we are listening to our partners and what they're sharing with us with their coaching goals and their initiatives. So class master coaching is very much like you're going to the gym and you've got a gym bag and you're ready to go and you're just going to go hit the gym. The MMCI service is more about setting up, or I guess reserving your seat at a specific gym class, such as a spin class, Pilates, yoga, you name it, but it's that class that you're going to at the gym. And then MTP is very much like that personal trainer that you would get at the gym instead of doing all the other free or class services. This one's very much the one-on-one relationship that you would have. So I hope that helps kind of break down how we look at these resources and coaching journeys and pathways for you to see what's going to be best for your program and your needs as you are supporting your coaching goals. I am also a huge fan of like a little column comparison. So we had this created so that you could see a nice, quick, easy visual of what's included per these different features that we have for the coaching services that Teachstone offers right now. I think the big thing for me was that I wanted to share was under Class Master Coaching. It says that you also need to be certified in the age level. Prior coaching experience. Class is definitely wonderful to have, but it's not, as long as you have coaching or if you are going through some sort of coaching, that is really where it is. It's not specific to class, even though we would love it. It's best practices, but that's not necessarily what you have to have. And then actively coaching with one teacher for this duration of this service. But everything else is correct.
Thank you, Emmy and Gina. So we have a few questions that I'm going to toss your way. And if folks have more thoughts or feelings about any of these programs, I know that some people are already participating in these programs. So share your experience if you have done MMCI, class group coaching, or MTP, one-on-one video coaching. Let us know. We'd love to hear in the chat. So my first question is from Shannon. Thank you. Can you do both the class master coaching program and MMCI, and can you do that simultaneously?
Do you want to take this one, Gina, or you want me to?
Yes, we likely have the same response, but you can do both. We would not advise that you do them simultaneously. I don't know if Emmy has a different thought or not. the amount of time that you would need to dedicate to each program is likely going to be, remember, you still have, we know your coaches, we know you're busy, you have a lot of other things on your plate. And so ideally, you would not be going through 2 of the coaching certification programs simultaneously. You could absolutely do both of them or all 3 of them if you like, but we would recommend that you not do them at the same time unless you have a different thought, Emmy.
No, I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly your response.
I think it would be, is it doable? Yes. Would I advise it? Probably not, just because it is a lot and you really want to focus your attention on the program that you're in.
Thanks. Isabella, if you don't mind going back one slide to that comparison chart, we have a few questions here on class master coaching. Can we really quickly review what that is again? And does it have to be redone every year?
So there is not a renewal for the class master coaching. You receive a certificate of completion and the competencies that you are proficient and or master in. So you have like novice, proficient, and mastery. And so throughout each cycle, you're trying to get from that novice either to proficient or mastery with your Teachstone specialist. So that was the second question. What was the first question, Megan?
Can you review it?
Yes. So the class master coaching, you start with a 2-day workshop with your cohort of coaches that you're with. And then from there, you would create a standard group call, cohort call with your Teachstone specialist. You would have 9 of those. And you would also have 9 one-on-one calls with your Teachstone specialist. You would also, I would say, book those one-on-ones after you have submitted one of the 7 videos that you need to upload for your Teachstone specialist to review. So it's a 9-month program, 9 group calls, 9 one-on-one calls, but you're going to submit only 7 videos of yourself delivering a coach themed topic, whatever competency you're on, to one of your teachers. A Teachstone specialist would review that information. And then when you meet on your one-on-one, you would be provided that feedback and next steps into maybe what your homework might be or exercises that we would share with you on how to become proficient or mastery level on that competency.
And if anyone had any additional follow-up questions about that, let us know. Thanks. So for the programs that you mentioned, I think class master coaching the requirement was 1 to 2 educators that you're working with. Does that need to be the same educator throughout the year? Like what happens if a teacher leaves and then another teacher comes in?
That's a great question. So no, it doesn't need to be the same educator, but that's one of the reasons why we said a minimum of 2 teachers that you're working with, because we know that life gets in the way and maybe that month it's either spring break or that teacher has an illness or it has to be out for some other reason. You have another teacher that you can then work with on that specific competency for with them on yourself on that coaching competency. So I again said, or I think I said earlier, up to 10 teachers, knowing that your caseload has probably closer to 30-ish, depending on your program, but 10 teachers is a really strong number, knowing that you'll probably pull 3 to 5 of them while you're working through this process and program so that you have a good amount of resources or teachers that you can pull from to do this work on a monthly basis.
What about for the one-on-one video coaching? Is a coach limited to working with 1 teacher, or is there like a maximum number of teachers that they could be working with?
Great question, Megan. So similarly to class master coaching, we do give a recommendation that you work with 3 to 4 teachers. However, you do not have to work with the same teacher throughout. If for whatever reason the teacher leaves or is no longer able to participate in the program, you can still submit and work with your Teachstone specialist with coaching multiple teachers. So it does not have to be just that one individual teacher.
Apologies for the sound that came through my computer. We have somebody asking, do you receive print materials for any of these programs?
Yes, you would receive that at the 2 or 3 day training that you would be attending. So yes, for every single one of them you would.
Oh, great. How long are the videos? Maria asks.
I'm assuming that's for class master coaching, but it's around 20 to 30 minutes for the class master coaching, just depending on the competency you're working on and kind of where you are with that one-on-one relationship with the Teachstone specialist and what that needs to look like.
Cool. And I mean, I think you were responding in the chat, but somebody had asked, each video can be different teachers?
That is correct. Yes.
Thank you. Do you have, I know Gina, you already said which your favorite is, but Emmy, I'm curious, do you have a favorite program?
So I really
Don't put you on the spot.
Yeah. I love our class master coaching because you can take this information and apply it in so many different PD areas that you're working on. And I just love how flexible that is. So it is using the class tool, but it's not class centric, so to speak. It's more coach centric. And I really, really like that a lot. And you get to work with other coaches, maybe that are in your program, possibly not. And so there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning in that way. I also though love the MMCI just because I feel like it's for scaling purposes. And I just think that there's the bite size of 2-hour sessions is really helpful, at least from my perspective of processing information and giving and allowing time to process the information of each dimension that you're going through it and getting that depth.
And I also love class group coaching, as you probably know, because I've already said it. I am very much a group learner. If I went to the gym, and I don't, but if I did go to the gym, I would be the one that would be signing up for spin classes or, the group classes. I would not be working with an individual trainer because that's not my best learning style. And so I know that for me, I absolutely learn best when I have that group dynamic. I love MMCI for that purpose because you really do have a group dynamic. You have a group of teachers that are going to be with you for the duration of the 12 sessions. There really is a whole lot of bonding and learning that takes place when you have discussions during those 12 sessions. One teacher will share something that they did in their classroom or what worked, and then another teacher has a wonderful idea or an aha moment. And so you see, and I've seen it, you see all these little light bulb moments that are happening during MMCI sessions. And so I love those light bulb moments. And the more teachers that I can reach, the better, because we know that a lot of times, as much as we would like to go really deep with fewer teachers, a lot of times we just don't have that ability, and we do have a larger caseload. And so being able to provide a coaching experience with a group of teachers, I think is just such a wonderful way to still coach. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one-on-one. If you do have the ability to coach one-on-one, that's great. But not everybody does. So that's my favorite.
Thanks. I know it's hard to pick a favorite sometimes because they're all so good. I'm gonna throw kind of a different question here because we mentioned a few times throughout that one of the prerequisites for each one of these programs is to be a class certified observer. And I know that's not the topic today, is class observation training, but Gina or Emmy, how does one get class certified, and where can they find more information on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Emmy, do you want to take it or me?
Go for it.
Okay, so we have lots of trainings that we offer throughout the month to become a certified class observer. If you go to our Teachstone website, at the right in the center of the screen, you can click on trainings and view virtual training options that are listed. We offer pre-K observation training, toddler observation, infant observation training. We also offer K3, secondary, UE, all of those age levels. You can go online. You can look at the trainings the dates that we offer the training. You can reach out directly to us and we can help guide you on which training would be the best fit for you. Or if you already know, you can even register yourself through our website. You can choose and select one of those trainings, and they're all done virtually, and you can take part in the two-day observation training virtually, so you don't have to travel or go anywhere. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. And then once,
No, you're good. Technically it's 3 days, but it's 2 days with a Teachstone facilitator, but they have 3 days on the
that's right.
training calendar.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the other thing is upon completion of the training, you will then have a reliability or certification test, and you will have 8 weeks in which to take and complete and pass this reliability test. And once you pass that test, then you are a certified class observer in that age level. Megan, if I missed anything, or Emmy, if I missed anything.
That was so succinct. Thank you. And I also dropped in a link to that page that you were mentioning, Gina, and I think it came through in the Q&A box or in the chat. I'm not sure where it goes once I send the answer out into the world, but I did reply, and hopefully everybody can see that. We have a couple more questions, and we only have 3 minutes. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and drop them in, but we've got one more on the one-on-one video coaching. What if there are children there that are not allowed to be videoed?
That's a great question. One of the things that we encourage programs to do is, if you are going to be taking part in one-on-one video coaching, that this information does get shared with the families of the students that are in that classroom, so that a release can be signed by the family. That is extremely important. If for whatever reason there is a child or multiple children who don't have the release that gets signed and provided, the teacher would need to ensure that while they're capturing video footage, that they try to capture the footage that does not include that child. That is the only program of these 3 where there's the possibility of a child coming out or being recorded, because with class group coaching, you're not recording with children, and you're not recording also with the class master. Are you, Emmy, recording? No, you're not.
It's coach educator. Yeah.
Right. So one-on-one video coaching is the only one of these 3 programs that you would need to think about the release, signing a release for the video that gets captured.
Yes, that's important. Thank you, Gina, for addressing that. Okay, so one more question about class master coaching. We have here in this graphic that one of the coaching experience prerequisites is prior class coaching experience. Is that a specific prior class coaching experience? Like, what is that exactly?
Right. So the only prerequisite for the class master coaching is to be reliable, class observer reliable in the age level that you're coaching in. And what's cool is that your cohort could be, you could have infant toddler coaches, you could have pre-K coaches, you could have K3 coaches all in the same cohort, but you're learning how to coach. It's not age specific, it's specific to you, but not to the cohort as a whole, because you're learning the coaching competency. So it would be nice if you had some class coaching experience. So if you have gone to one of our feedback trainings or our instructional strategy support trainings for the age level that you're coaching in, but we really want to just see prior coaching experience. And that could be your first year in coaching. So you're like, okay, I've done this maybe like 5 months and I need some more support. Or it could be that you've been doing this for, 15 plus years and you're still able to come in here and learn. And I think that was a big takeaway for me, as one of our coaches that I had worked with had been coaching for 30 years. And then she came into this and was like, I'm learning so much here. And it was a really wonderful thing to see novice coaches and proficient coaches still be able to learn and grow with this program.
That's lovely. Thanks for adding that, Emmy.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, well, I think we are at time, and I do want to respect everybody's calendars. We're all so busy. So we'll be sure to send out the recording, like I mentioned, and we'll send it to your email address, whatever email you use to register for today's presentation. That's the email address at which we will send you the follow-up communication. So again, it will include the slides here because I know we have the pricing information for you to refer back to. It will have the recording. It will have our certificate of attendance from today's webinar presentation. And we may have a few additional resources that we'll throw in to help clarify and break down the differences between each of these programs. So happy that you all joined us, and thank you so much for spending some of your time with us this Tuesday. I appreciate it.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.